7:42. Let's get the voice of the creative economy on. That's Vincent Heeringa, of course, from idealogue.co.nz. Morning, Vincent.
Good morning, Wemo. How are you?
Very well, thanks. Today we're talking about the election and technology and the use of technology in the election.
Well, they're not unrelated, but I want to talk about two different, kind of the yin and the yang, a tale of two cities in some ways.
Okay.
We got the unveiling of the first election campaign advertisements. Happened last Friday, and I really thought there was a stark contrast between a party, the National Party, that wants to just sleepwalk itself towards a victory, and was given an absolute horrible wake-up call by a very aggressive and successful Labour campaign. And I just thought
it's hard to measure success at this stage, though, isn't it?
Well, it's a long way to go for Labour, absolutely. Yeah. But, which one, until last night's debate, Labour had it all over National. Particularly, I think, the effort they'd gone to with that opening salvo, they really had made quite a compelling documentary about the making of New Zealand and Labour's role in the making of. And they very cleverly have associated nationhood and the sort of sense of belonging with the Labour Party. Contrast that to National, a very lazy, badly shot 20-minute bore-a-thon with John Key answering fake questions.
Yeah, it's kind of like it was whacked up at the last minute.
It was awful. It was lazy. It was insulting. Just on that alone, it would force you to vote against them. But I really think the Labour have given... it's a two-horse race, this election, Wemo. I think the minor parties really are playing a minor role.
Well, I don't know if you could say the Greens are playing a minor role when they're sitting on 10%.
No, absolutely. When it comes down to the final numbers, I agree. But in terms of so far, in terms of the, who's driving the debate, it's between the two. And
well, but isn't that also because the TV is geared towards just concentrating on those two? Like the One News debate was just those two guys. And John Key said he won't debate anyone else.
Right. Well, that's probably one reason. I also think it really has come down to quite a first past the post. Two quite. It's all about the economy. There's no other issue. Health, education, security, environment. None of these are counting as against the economy. And
well, did you see the poll that came out from TV3 that asked voters what their number one issue was? And extraordinarily enough, it was the environment.
Yeah. What people say and what people do are two different things.
Yeah.
Both parties will be running focus groups and quite aggressive research programs, and all the language is around asset sales and about addressing the recession. And I'm quite excited about it, Wayne, because you have two philosophical battle here. There really is a battle of ideas about how to govern, about how to generate wealth, and it's a fascinating fight over a hands-off approach to running the economy to a hands-on approach to running the economy. And, to his credit, John Key came back very aggressively last night in that debate and I think clawed back some of the early gains that Labour had got earlier in the week.
So I didn't see the debate, but from what I understand, he was getting goff on the fact that the policies haven't been costed by Labour yet.
That's exactly right. The way that the Nats see it, there's $18 billion deficit that Labour have to account for in the tax take. And that's, of course, in the national scheme, that comes about through a mixture of asset sales and economic growth.
Yeah.
Whereas by in their language, not selling the family silver, Labour are miraculously going to generate some wealth just by growing the economy.
So it's a strategic mistake not to come up with a spreadsheet before the policies were announced, really.
I think this is the spreadsheet election. I think it's a nice way to put it.
Okay, any more on the technology side of the election?
Well, I think if we can squeeze in just a little plug for one of my favourite little indices in the country. It's called the TIN 100. It's a ranking of the top technology companies in the country, headed, as you'd expect, by Fisher and Paykel.
Yeah.
Which is the only really large technology company in New Zealand that's in the in this terms of revenues. But one of the great things about this ranking, Wamo, is it gives a little hint as to what New Zealand's future is. So dairy and tourism clearly are the largest industries in terms of total revenue.
Yeah.
But ranking second or third in that list is the technology sector, and that has emerged ahead of wood or sheep or wool or any of our traditional agricultural sectors as the fastest growing and certainly the most export-orientated of our industries, and very exciting companies. One of the coolest things about it is that they are growing at that quite at a band between 50 million and 150 million. They're growing. That sector is growing at about 15% a year, and that bodes well for the future, Wamo, because these are precisely the kind of knowledge economy type companies that we need to supplement our overall economy. You know, we can't have more Fonterras. There's only so much land.
Yeah.
You know, we need intellectual property, software, hardware, technology to actually generate the kind of wealth we need. And very exciting result come out of that TIN 100.
And there's many rather than few in that sector, right?
Well, funnily enough, there's 100.
Yeah, yeah,
it's
right.
the TIN 100. They're actually he ranks 200, but the top 100 are the most sizable done by kind of revenue.
And where can you find that list?
Well, if you just Google TIN 100 or go to the IDlog website, you will find lots of stories there.
Great. Excellent. Sounds very good. Thanks very much, Vincent.
Thanks very much.
Vincent Heeringa there, idlog.co.nz, as he says. Right now he's the